Welcome back to another tutorial up to the time presenting surface development. So what is a surface development? Surface development is a full-size layout of an object drawn on a plane. Some objects are made of flat sheet metal. When the sheet is cut as per this layout, folded and joined together, it takes the shape of an object. So if we look here to the right, we will see some examples of some surface developments. I'm going to maximize this so we can have a better look. And first we will see a prism. We can see how the cutouts are there, and when folded together creates the orange shape. And then we look at the cylinder. We can then have a look at the pyramid, the cone, the sphere, and the tetrahedron. But today we'll be focusing on a surface development of a truncated cone. So this is the question we are going to be looking at today. And first, before we start, let's analyze the question. Let's start to understand more about this question. So I'm going to first read it out, and then I'm going to look for the key dimensions, highlight them, the key information, so that we all can see before we proceed. Question 1. Surface development. The figure below shows the plan and elevation of a truncated cone. Draw at full scale the following views. The completed plan and elevation of the cone. That's the first question. The second part of the question asks for the surface development of the cone marked and open on the seam AA. So just let's look at the information firstly. The height of this cone is going to be 85 millimeters, and I've just highlighted that. The diameter of the circle is 50 millimeters. It's right there, as we can see. The angle that we need to get this cut right here is 30 degrees. It's right here highlighted. And where is the mark? Where do we need to start our cut? We need to start our cut some distance of 35 millimeters up from this baseline. So now that we have gotten all this information, I think we can proceed now to AutoCAD to start drawing this. So I'm going to clear this. I'm now going to minimize this sheet so we can start working. All right. So I think I've explained that enough. So let us go into AutoCAD now and start this drawing. Alpha line, let's start drawing. And this is what I always do. I always start off with my actual cross first before we start drawing. I'm going to offset 10 millimeters up from this line and then 10 millimeters down. So let me just put this line into the layer 0 because this will be my frames. And now, okay, cool. Let us start. I'm going to offset 80 millimeters, 85 millimeters up for the height of my cone. That's it there. And I need to create a circle of 50 millimeter diameter. So I can just create a circle anywhere and then slip it and then fit it in. So this is diameter. I'm in the radius mode now, so I need to go over to the diameter mode by pressing D after I've started my circle. And now I'm going to type in 50. Okay, so that's diameter 50. I'm going to move that, M to move, select the point that I want, and snap it in right here. So that's my circle there at 50 millimeters diameter, placed in position. And I'm going to grab a point from this quadrant and bring it up to the baseline. Do the same thing on the left hand side. Grab the point from the quadrant of the circle and bring it up to this baseline. And we send it up perpendicular. Then from the end point here, I'm going to connect to the apex of the triangle and then back to this endpoint. So straight away we have the outline of our shape. Let me just put this line here into center. Yeah, that's my center line, so that we can always see the center of our drawing at all times. I always like to know where are my centers. So let's move now. I think we can clean up this bit here. Yeah, just flare that. This is just a little style there, so that the cone sits onto the ground and it's just not floating in space. Now, what are we going to do next? Now I've drawn this. Now I need to offset from my baseline 35 millimeters up so that we can start placing this cut in. So I go O to offset, that's the hotkey tool, hotkey command O, touch the baseline, go up 35 millimeters till I reach this point. This is the point that I'm interested in right here. And then, let me just zoom in closely so we can see. Yeah, that's the point that I'm interested in there. And now I'm going to place my 30 degrees there. So I'm going to touch this line. I'm going to hold down shift, press the less than symbol, which is to the right hand of M. And then I'm going to type 30, and that will give me my 30 degrees. So that's what I do. I got in my 30 degrees. Now, this line is a bit too long, so it needs to be trimmed. So let's just trim that line. Now I can remove this line because that was a reference line. And now my 30 degrees is in and everything looks good. However, I need to represent that this cone has been truncated. And how am I going to do that? I am going to break these lines. BR is the command I'm going to use. Touch this long line and divide it right here at that point, and then hit enter to reactivate the same command so I can do it over on the left hand side. Now what I'm going to do is fillet this line back to here, fillet this line back to here. And now you're probably wondering, well, what was the purpose of that? These two lines are individual lines. Now I can place these into my hidden layer, and they come up there as hidden. So that was the purpose there. So it's starting to look like the question. No, what is the next step? I think I need to put in my A and my A. So I have the letter A down here all ready to go at the proper scale that I'm going to be using. So let me delete that point. That point was only getting in my way. I'll copy this A. CO is the hotkey for copy. So that's AA. I'm going to put them into my text layer. And text layer is usually purple. That's it down there. All right, now let me zoom back out slightly. I think I can work from this point here. Now, I think we have gotten the problem laid out. Now the next thing, now we need to solve this problem. In solving this problem, the first thing we need to do, I'm going to annotate for those following and write down what we need to do so that guys would understand, everyone would understand watching this at home or wherever. First thing we need to do is we need to divide this circle into 12 pieces. So I'm going to write that here. Divide the circle into 12 pieces. Cool. That's there. Now let's get back over to the AutoCAD world. So how am I going to divide this circle? I'm going to touch this circle right here, and then I'm going to go div, which is the command. They asked me to touch the circle again, and then type in, enter the number of segments. So I'm going to type in 1, 2, because it's 12 that I want, enter. And my circle has been divided into 12. For some people at home that might have done this, and you might not have seen the circle divided, you need to check your point style. So that is point style, that is P type, P, TYPE, that's your P type. And when you go in there, that stands for your point style. And usually some people have the point at a speck of dust. You will never be able to see it. Let me just show you. If you look there, you can't see any indication that this circle has been divided. So I usually select one of these different points. I'm going to go over the circle and the X, and the point size is 2, set size relative to screen. Okay, I think I've explained that a little bit. So if you're having trouble seeing your divisions, go into your point style, and the shortcut for that is P type. All right, let me do that again. P type. You can see it there, and that takes you into your point style menu. Okay, let's go ahead now. Now we have divided this circle into 12 pieces. We need to project lines up from these points to the base of our cone. Okay, we've projected points up from the circle. You see these points are the same, so that's why you probably wondered how come I didn't project all of my points from my circle. I've divided up because some line shares 2 points. Like for example, this line shares also this point down here, so it makes no sense really me projecting from down here. I could just well project it from up here. So that's why I've done that. Now when we get here to the base of the cone, we're going to send these up to the apex of the triangle like that. So we're sending all points up to the apex of the triangle, and that's it there. Again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to break these lines like what I did just now. Max drop MA, that's the hotkey. Select the hidden layer and put these all onto the hidden layer up there, because those would be those in reality those won't be there anymore. Those would have been cut, but I just want to show the remnants of what was there. Okay, good. So I think I've got that all laid out well. And now let us solve this thing now. So I've divided it and I've projected my lines up to so the next thing is, after dividing this, I'm going to come back over here, annotate, and write what I've just done. So I've divided it first. So put here number 1, divide the circle into 12 pieces. I've done that. And then number 2, projecting the lines from the circle up to the cone and then to the apex of the triangle. So I'm going to put here number 2, project the lines up from the circle to the base of the triangle, then send them to a point, send them up to the apex. So it's project the lines up from the circle to the base of the triangle, then send them to the apex, then send them to the apex of the triangle. Right, and I'm just going to put an arrow there so that we can see. So that's here. All right, and let us move on now. So now that we have done that, that's the first 2 steps done. What is the next step? The next step is to, let's read the question again. The question asks us to draw at full scale the following views: the completed plan and elevation of the cone. So now we need to complete this plan And in order for us to complete this, I am then going to go over to a different layer, which is my hatch layer. I use this as my secondary construction, and I'm going to mark off these points here on the cut line. So there's 1 point there. I'm going to put points so that we can all see on the cut line. That's a point there. That's a point there. That's a point there, 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 and here. All right, I think these points are a little too small, so I'm going to increase my point size to something like 3. Yeah, I think that's good. Probably put them into a different layer so that they can be a bit more outstanding. So I'm going to put them into there. Put this back into my construction. Okay, so my points are in green. Now, how many points do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 points. And what am I going to do with these 7 points? I'm going to first, I could just label them. Why not? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just change this to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think these are a bit too big, so I'm going to change the size down to 2. Max drop. Change all of them to that size. Size 2. Yeah. They fit there better, right? Cool. 1 is too close to the 2. All right, so these are my 7 points that I've identified, and now I'm going to project these lines downward to the plan. But before I do that, let me also send my points down here that are on my circle to the center of my circle, which would also be the apex, like how the apex of the triangle is here. The apex, if you were to look on plan, would be at this point right here. So I'm just going to connect these like that, and they all must go through the middle of the circle. Yeah, I'm going to put them all into the construction layer for now until we finish with these things here. So everything is on the construction layer, and then I'm going to transfer everything. I'm going to put them into the appropriate layers at the end of this demonstration. Right, so I'm going to project these lines here from 1 down, and I think I can copy this, copy, copy. This copying these lines over actually saves a lot of time rather than drawing them individually. That's basically why I copy. All right. Now, so these go down and they all interact right down here with the divisions on the circle, and somewhere around here is our circle. But how do we proceed from here? Do we have all the information that we can actually complete the plan? Let's see. So we know this point is going to hit right here. This first interaction is going to interact with this line here, and our last interaction is going to interact right here at this point. So let's put in these first two. So I'm going to put a point, P-O-I-N. P-O-I-N-T is how you bring out your point menu. So those are my first 2 points there, which are points 1 and point 7. And now let us move now over to where I think point 2 would be. There. Point 3 would be there and there. Now the funny thing is that we're not able to locate point 4. No, we can't locate point 4, but we can locate points 5. Locate point 6, and we have point 7. Now, looking at this, we can still get the shape without having points 4. However, if we want to find points 4, we can create a second elevation. We can create the side elevation, set it the information line, and bring the point from the side down through the information line and reconnect it to the plan, and we would actually find points 4. But I am more certain that we can find points 4 when we start to create the spine. And points 4 would just reveal itself naturally by if we've gotten in all the points. So let me just do that. Let me show you. SPL is the hotkey right there to bring it spline. And let's start here at the point 1, and we're gonna go clockwise. So it'll be there, 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 there. Right, so we've completed the shape, and you see we didn't even have to find points 4, but more than likely points 4 would be right here. Yeah, that would be the missing points. The shape is completed. We have done question 1, which is to complete the plan and elevation of the cone. So the elevation is here completed, and the plan is down here completed. Let me just change this and put this into an outline, because that's a symbol that that is completed. And now I'm going to put the circle also into outline because I've completed that. Okay, so my circle, my plan is completed, and my elevation has been completed as well. Now the next thing is for me to create my surface development. Okay, so let's see, where are we going to go now from here to create the surface development. The seam is AA. I can start it on this left hand side, or I can start it on the right hand side. Usually I start it on the right hand side, but I'm going to start it on the left hand side for this one. How do we get this done now? I'm going to have to draw a circle. So let's go back over to my, you know what, I'm going to use the hatch layer. Let's draw a circle. C for circle, enter. I then start my circle here. This is my center point at the apex, and this is my end point at the last A, the A that is on the baseline. That there? Yep, that's it there. Now, I want this circle to be divided into 12 pieces. Yes, 12 pieces, because the circle down here is divided into 12 pieces. So this is the material here that I've just laid out. This is the flat surface that I'm going to be using to create this surface development. All right. I need to get the distance from each piece. So what I'm saying is I need to get this distance here. I'm going to put, yeah, I need to get that distance there. All right. That distance is 13, but I'm not going to measure it and then go up here and plot 13, 13, 13. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just showing you that I need that distance. However, I'm not even interested in this number, not at all. I just lay that there to just let you know I'm going to be taking that distance and I'm going to be working with that distance so that I can divide my big circle. So how do I do that? I create C for circle, and I create a small circle right here. So that there is my distance that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to move this circle now from here, grab it in the center, and I'm going to place it right here at A. And I'm going to use this now. I'm going to copy this 12 times so that I can get my distance, an accurate distance, which is the full distance, actually the full circumference, so that I can plot this surface development. So I'm going to copy this 12 times on this gray line that I've just placed in. So let's do that. CO to copy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, those are my 12 points there. I can probably just grab a number so that I am aware. So I'm going to place all these 7s there, and then I'm going to come back and edit them, right? So that they read 1 to 12. Just point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so let us now connect these. So everything goes to the apex. Similarly to what happened down here at the baseline, everything goes to the apex. And similarly to what happens down here on the plan, everything went to the apex. So let's connect these now. So 1 right here is the division. 1, 2, 3 is connected. 4 is connected. 5 is connected. 6 is connected. 7 is connected. 8 is connected. 9 is connected. Come on. 10, 11, and then 12. Okay. All connected and looking nice and lovely. Let me just put these into my construction layer for now. So I'm just going to do that. And I want this layer here, this line here to be, no, I'll just leave that. All right. So now I've got in that, and I'm going to put this also into construction layer. You know, I think I'm going to just clear off the annotations here, because if you're following me, you don't need to look there at that screen anymore. And I can just maximize that. All right, good. So let us get started on this now. We can trim. I don't need this part of the circle anymore. Let me trim this, grab everything. And I don't need it. Right. So that's everything that we need here. All right. Now these points here on our cone, this cut here needs to be represented right here as we create this surface development. So how are we going to do that? Okay, let us now hit C. And I am going to bring these all to here, so that I can reference them from that point there. So I want them all to line up here with this edge line. So I'm going to trim them there so that they all are right there, ready for me to just draw my circles from at that point. You guys will see what I mean when I start drawing. C for circle, start, and then this will be my point 1 represented there. C for circle again. This is my point 2 represented there. C for circle. And this is my point 3. And guys, I forget to mention that these are the 12 cuts on this line here. I've just labeled it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But this numbering sequence goes all the way back up to 12. So some people would have said I should have labeled this 12 and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then go all the way back like this. At the bottom would be 6, and 5 and 7 will share the same point. 4 and 8, 3 and 9, 2 and 10, and then 1 and 11 and 12 would be a standalone. Yes, you could have done that. Or you could do this, or you just don't have to number if you're really good at it. But I'm just working with 7 numbers because I'm not going to confuse myself. I might confuse you, so I think at this time, so that, nah, I just leave it that way. Let's go. Let me just trim off these because I don't want them. Let me just trim off these because I don't want these. And I could trim these things from here because I don't want these. I'm just deleting the unwanted bits. Cool. So I have in all where my cut would occur. And seeing that we started our seam here at AA, let us move. So we're going to be here at this point, which is point 7, and we going all the way up to point 1. So that means as we are drawing this, we are going up every step all the way to the apex, and then we are going to come back down to the lowest point. So 7 is the lowest point right here, and then we're going to move. So let me go POI and put in a point. So we are at 7, which is at AA, and then we're going to move to where 6 would be, to where 5 would be, to where 4 would be. Then we move up to where 3 would be. Then we go to 2. And then 1 is the apex right here. So now the only thing to do now we have hit the top is to go back down. Go back down, following the same sequence. and we've done it. Lastly, to join these now and then put everything into their respective layer. So how am I going to join these? I'm going to be joining these. Let's go into my outline layer one time and then join them. SPL. Let's start here. Go there, go there, go there, go there. So that is how it would look. That is how it would appear. So we started here at seam AA, which is at the lowest point 7, and we move from 7, which is there, and we can see where 6 was. 6 was right here. So I can copy. This is where my 6 would be. Then this is where my 5 would be. 5 would be right here. And then we go up to 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's 6, 5. So we can call this 4. We can call this point here 3, 2, 1. And at this stage, what we can do is we can go back down to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. I wouldn't bother to labeling those. I wouldn't bother labeling those at this stage, to be honest with you. What I'm going to do is I am going to place these into their respective layer. So I'm just going to do that to there, cut that to there. MA. This would be outline. This would be an outline. I wonder if I can extend these lines back to this line here. Oh, wow, good. Great. So now I can put these as my hidden lines and continue. Just going to be a hidden line there. That's going to be a hidden. So I think we have done the surface development and we have answered the question. Lastly, I am going to label this drawing now before I get out of here. So down here would be the plan. And above here would be the front elevation. Then this over here would be our surface development. Okay. Let me put these over now into the text there, and that should be it. All right, so this is what we have done today. We've created a surface development for a truncated cone. And the question asks for us to draw at full scale the following views: the completed plan, and the completed plan is there. It's all there. It looks good. And it's down here. Tick that off. and completed elevation. So the elevation is completed. Both plan and elevation are completed. And lastly, the surface development of the core mark and open on the seam AA, and it's right here. So we have finished everything, and this is the topic surface development. So thank you guys for joining and for sticking through this tutorial. I hope you learned something new. As usual, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And practice makes perfect. So try this at home, try it again, make sure you understand all the steps, and yeah, even if look in the exercise book or search the internet for different surface development exercises and try them. That's how you're going to get better at this thing. But I am out for now, so take care until next time.